In this video, I'm going to take you through the process. This is going to be a two-part video, by the way, but the process of attaching a sample database in SQL Server. This is a neat trick if you've never seen it in SQL Server. It's a great way to get a database onto a different server, just like we're going to do. We have an MDF file, and we want to get it onto our server so we can use it. Now, first of all, out there in your Work Files folder, I have a zip file. Let me jump out here and we'll take a look at it. In your Work Files folder, you're going to see this file right here, the AdventureWorks Data Files zip file. If you will just right-click on that and extract here, you will end up with the AdventureWorks 2012 Data MDF, and then the AdventureWorks DW212 Data MDF. This is your data warehouse database, and this is your OLTP database. And these are the two we're going to be referring to in the course here. And so what we want to do is extract those files, and then we want to move those two MDF files to the default SQL Server Databases folder. Now, that is going to be at this location. Notice it's C Program Files, Microsoft SQL Server, and I won't read all this to you. You can read it. But we want to make sure that we get it into this file right here, this data folder. Because if we don't put this file inside this data folder, we're probably going to run into permissions errors when we try to attach to the database, or we try to run the database, or connect to it to manage it, and it's just going to be a mess. Now, you can put it anywhere and change permissions, but we don't want to get into all that now. So just stick it in that default data folder and you should be fine. What we're going to do then is open the SQL Server Management Studio and attach the databases to this server. Now, if you've done this before, this is a piece of cake and you know it and it's no big deal. But if you've never done it before, this is a neat way to do this, and it's a great trick to learn for moving databases around out there in the real world. Now, notice we don't have log files or .ldf files. If all of that's confusing, you don't know about LDF files and MDF files, you need to go do the SQL Server 2012 Administration course that VTC offers as well. So you want to be sure when you attach these files that you remove any reference to the LDF file, and I'm going to show you that in part 2 because we're going to jump out into SQL Server. First of all, we're going to move our files, then we're going to jump into SQL Server Management Studio and attach these two databases. Okay, so to make sure that I had enough time there, I did a part 1, so we'll stop here. This will be the end of part 1. So in part 2, we will open the SQL Server Management Studio and attach our databases.